The following podcast contains opinion and commentary protected by the First Amendment and fair use. It may also contain adult themes, adult concepts, and adult language not suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Laura Owens goose is cooked for arraignment. You'll be booked. Mugshot taken, finger scan, bond is set. Now that's the plan. In a court when she will sit. Felony charges aren't your shit. Rachel Mitchell has your name. You have no one else to blame. The die is cast, pregnancy fakers just won't last. Forging tests and faking docs, soon she'll be wearing prison crocs. You've got nowhere else to hide, justice this time will be denied. No appeal will save your ass, you've got no tissue left to pass. The game is set, the die is cast, pregnancy fakers just won't last. Forging tests and faking docs, so she'll be wearing prison crocs. You've got nowhere else to hide. Justice this time won't be denied. No appeal will save your ass. You've got no tissue left to pass. Justice for Clayton, Mike and Greg, and other than that she's misled. Protection orders gotta go from the moon, but where he home.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to your favorite cubbyhole on the internet. On this fabulous Mother's Day weekend, we do have some breaking news. We do indeed. But before we get to the breaking news, it's official. I am making this a series. And I am calling it Femme Fetal, as opposed to the more colloquially used term Femme Fetal. Obviously, if Megan Fox can have fetal attraction, I can have femme fetal. Clearly a play on words. You get it? Hopefully you do. It's obviously some satire and some parody, so it should make sense eventually. I'm not a great wizard when it comes to rock and roll, so we had some AI help us out for that, for which we're grateful because, well, I don't play the guitar. I barely play what I do play. But we had to come up with a theme song because this is going to be a long process. We thought the process with the paternity matter was a long process. This one's going to be even longer. So we may as well make this an entire series and revel in it. That's what we like to do. This is a great story for that. This is going to be drawn out for quite a while as things go back and forth, and we have the criminal prosecution of Laura Michelle Owens. That's right. Laura Michelle Owens, the daughter of Ron Owens, famed and celebrated KGO radio host, and also noted with multiple awards according to all the self-indulgent printings, Jan Black, a.k.a. Elizabeth Naylor-Owens. This is the daughter of these two fairly prominent media people, who you would think since this became a media sensation at their daughter's own hand, that they would understand why things are the way they are. But we'll get to that in a minute, because I believe at least one family member, if not all of them, is complicit in some of these activities. Again, that's an opinion, and we'll look at some footage to justify that in just a moment. But first we have the breaking news. That's right. Breaking news from the cubbyhole. We have being reported by Dave Neal and by others. This comes from All the Best Research and Timelines on Twitter, who I believe also has a YouTube page. They have received information dated 8 hours ago. I saw Dave's posting his YouTube short about an hour ago. All the Best Research and Timelines reports. We have received information that Laura Owens allegedly ordered injectable HCG and had it delivered to her home via courier, and allegedly requested that there be absolutely no information on the box. Now, of course, this is an allegation, so we'll wait for the receipts. I don't think there's any reason to post things that aren't factual, because I believe they have the facts. But we shall see. We shall see what comes of this. But this is being reported, and as of the current date, this is Sunday afternoon, we will consider this an allegation. But it seems quite probable. Quite probable given the circumstances of Laura's propensity to P positive, as they say. Boy, she really landed those regularly. And then when it wasn't good enough, she would fake the documents to make it look even more plausible. But of course, it was only weekly positive, I think on average. What was it? Maybe 100 and something? Was it 102? And then she would add digits and zeros to that. And she attempted to make it more convincing that she was actually pregnant. But she, of course, admitted on the stand at trial that she had falsified those medical documents. Of course, falsifying medical records in the state of Arizona is a crime. Oh, that might be an episode of its own someday, but not today. Today is about some other things. Today is about why I think there may be some family complicity in Laura's criminal actions. And let's go to the footage, because this is what prompted me to think about this. I sat through all of my commuting over my weekend job work and was pondering even further, as I often do. If I'm not pondering in the shower, I am pondering in the car. They're great places to do some uninterrupted thinking. We listened to the footage in our travels, the footage of the wellness checks, of which we have footage for 2, thanks to the incomparable Schnitzel Nija. We have multiple angles, but I have selected this. I've selected these 2 angles because we have both the officers who are responding to the call showing up at the residence to do a wellness check, and in this particular one, it involves the wellness check that came from the FBI. That's correct. This is when the FBI wellness check was called in, and this is the response to it. There is another one with a female cop and another younger cop that happens at another time, but this was the one that caught most of my attention because of some of the things said by Mother Owens or Mother Black, depending on which alias she's using, and why she uses an alias, we wonder. I won't pontificate on that further because I have my views on that, and really that's not the subject of this one. I think this is an indictment on Jan Black, a.k.a. Elizabeth Naylor-Owens. Now, Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell has not made any announcements towards Mother Owens, but the level of involvement this woman has in her daughter's life and in her daughter's writing of things makes one wonder if she could be considered an accomplice or an accessory to the felony crimes of her daughter. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a legal practitioner or a mental practitioner of any kind. We are just stating opinions, but we are stating these opinions based upon the information we have and the context in which that information is given. So without any further ado, I wish to review this video provided by Schnitzel Nija from the Scottsdale Police Department making a visit to the Owens Ranch and residence. I'm not sure we can call it a ranch, but it is a reasonably sized piece of property. I would guess maybe an acre or so, give or take, with all the horse contraptions and stuff. But this is the interaction that the police have with the Owens women.
She should be out in just a minute.
She's gonna come out which way?
I think she's coming out this way.
By the front door?
She's coming out here. She lives in this little casita right here.
Okay.
So, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Just making sure.
So as you noted, the horse area is rather extensive off to the back of the house there. And now they're approaching the front of the house where they will be greeted by one Jan Black, a.k.a. Elizabeth Naylor-Owens.
See, it's got a personalized plate that he loves horses on.
And you heard the officer saying rather quietly in a whisper, "Don't ask any questions." Right up, man. I wonder whose car that is. Evidently, it's a car with a custom plate about horses. That's very interesting. We're only commenting on what they're saying, folks. There's nothing to be salacious about here. At least not yet.
Hey!
Right.
Are you?
We're looking for Laura.
Laura's my daughter.
Okay. Is she here?
Yeah, what's going on?
She called the FBI.
Elizabeth is not a particularly tall woman. But maybe it's a little bit of lens distortion, but I would say an average 6 foot something door. She's quite a small woman. It's sort of surprising, but there we are. I'm not going to make too many snide comments about her appearance, although it is a little frumpy and, well, this wasn't stopped in the most flattering place with her mouth hanging open. Now, I've said it before. I've said it before without any hesitation whatsoever. I believe like mother, like daughter, or in this case, like daughter, like mother. And we'll get to why I think that very soon. The amount of involvement this woman has in her adult daughter's life, her adult daughter who is over the age of 33, if I'm not mistaken in this instance at this time, she is very involved in this situation. And I believe she's been very involved in other situations involving the other men, or as Elizabeth Naylor-Owens says, the flings of the short-term boyfriends, or what is it she says? Okay, we'll get there. Maybe I shouldn't get ahead of myself.
FBI? And the FBI called us to come check and make sure she's okay?
She was reporting something to him, but she was upset and sounded like she made some statements. They just wanted to make sure she's okay.
Oh, was this a long time ago?
No, this was supposedly this morning.
Okay, hang on a second. Can I just make sure I can see your car?
What? Make sure I can see your car? That is bizarre. Why? What? What is going on here?
They said she's back here, but she was going to come out.
Where's your police car?
Huh?
Over there.
The police car. We've had some really strange things. Where's your police car?
She's looking for their police cars. This, in my view, seems like the ramblings of a paranoid and or delusional woman. I'm going to stick with the paranoid part. You've got two fully uniformed officers showing on your front doorstep, and you're concerned about where their car is? Now, are we worried about their car because if it's sitting in front of their house, then the neighbors start getting worried about what's going on at the Owens residence? Now, that might be a certain concern, but it seems more like she's questioning the legitimacy of these people being officers, and that raises some eyebrows. So already, from the get-go, it's my view that Jan Black, a.k.a. Elizabeth Naylor-Owens, in my view, may not be playing with a full deck, which may explain some of the behavior of her daughter.
There's two of them sitting right here.
Okay, all right. Well,
Okay, all right. I see them now. Okay, you've convinced me you're actually police. Okay.
But she lives in the back, in the little
Yeah, she
casita?
lives in the casita.
Okay.
Why don't you come on in? And,
Okay.
Yeah, and sit down.
Hi, puppy. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
she's had some real issues with an ex-boyfriend who. It is the most complicated, bizarre story ever. But
It's only complicated and bizarre because your daughter started it, ma'am. That's what made it bizarre, and that's what made it complicated.
The only reason we're here is she evidently gave the FBI, talked to them. They just wanted us to swing by to make sure she's okay.
Okay, all right.
That's all we need.
Hang on 1 second, let me just go get her then. Hang on, my husband is here. Well, I'm just talking to the police here. Okay, hang on.
Laura, there's 2 men, police officers at the front door. Laura!
Broadcasting studio.
I read the latest FI when somebody came out speaking on the
I don't know, is it just one daughter or they got multiple daughters?
For those wondering, FI is police abbreviation for field investigation.
It shows one getting married over here, but
Apparently, Laura has a podcast about something that she's getting harassed online about her podcast. So she called the police to make a report and they took an FI. I'm wondering if it's something like that.
she can maintain her contact with the FBI, that's good.
Fake FBI stuff by the sound of it.
Of course, our comments on our screen really didn't tell us anything. Borderline.
There's FBI's covering their butts.
It's legit. We'll call Hathaway. Hi there.
Morning.
Good morning.
Did you contact the FBI this morning?
Cybercrimes unit. Yeah.
Did you talk to somebody or?
No, nobody
Okay.
contacted me. I just submitted it.
I find it funny. Just like in all of her phone calls to the police, be it dispatch or the police department, I think maybe non-emergency number, she starts up really high and then it sort of falls down into and then it gets into the Laura Owens gravelly voice, the vocal fry. Isn't that interesting? It's a strange affectation. It catches my attention every time I hear it.
An hour ago. If it's the same thing, she helped me with the report
What was that?
drafted.
So,
Mommy dearest, help Laura with the FBI report. I think that's an indictment right there, folks. That's my opinion. That's my opinion because Laura just admitted on bodycam that her mother helped her with an FBI filing or an FBI report. Whatever it was that she sent to the FBI accusing people of cyber crime or whatever the hell it was. I think this means Jan Black Elizabeth Naylor-Owens is complicit in these activities. Again, I'm not a legal professional. I'm just a person opining. But I believe that's a smoking gun for who else is involved in these schemes with Laura Michelle Owens. And as I've said before, I don't think the apple falls very far from the tree. And I believe, and again, without any psychological, personal, professional belief other than my own perceptions, I believe that Jan Black, Elizabeth Naylor-Owens, has some mental issues herself. Now, that's, again, my opinion, and I'm entitled to it because of the First Amendment and because of the behavior exhibited by everyone involved here. First, her daughter, and knowing that her mother is also involved in these plots and schemes and ploys and filings and reports. She may confess to more. Let's watch some more.
the information we got was that you submitted something to the FBI. It didn't say whether you talked to somebody on the phone or electronically,
Yeah.
like made an online complaint.
Yeah.
They said something you said was borderline suicidal.
Right. That was from the guy, but that was also from.
So the FBI called us to come
Okay.
check on you to make sure you're okay and you're
Yeah,
not gonna hurt.
yeah. No, that was like
So
from.
were you talking about whatever you said, were you talking about yourself or some other
Yeah, but it was
situation,
like
or-
from a couple months ago. And
She was saying she's been targeted,
Like
she's had a
blood.
horrible situation with cyber harassment from an ex-boyfriend and from another guy who is obsessed with her.
Yeah,
And
he's
she
made like
has-
50 videos of me.
That's laughable. All these guys are obsessed with Laura, yet it's her. Yet it's her that files for orders of protection to silence them from speaking about how obsessed they are. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Clearly, this is part of the scam. Clearly, this is part of the scam. I mean, what else can you say?
On YouTube, so
And
yeah.
she has simply asked him to stop. She's filed a cease and desist, asking him to stop.
Okay, you don't file cease and desists. A cease and desist letter has no legal bearing. It is not a legal instrument. It is just a letter. It's a request. It's not something you file. It's not something you place with a court because it has no legal teeth. There's nothing to back in law. So even bringing that up is somewhat fallacious on its head.
And they're not. They haven't stopped, and so she thought that it needs to go to some kind of a cyber crimes unit,
Right.
and she had said in there that the harassment.
I can say it. I had told the guy specifically that like creating these daily videos about me had made me feel borderline suicidal. I was like last month I messaged him and he continued to make videos about me, but I'm fine.
He's been
Yeah.
like this guy.
We must be talking about Dave and her obsession with watching everything that Dave produces. That's interesting. And isn't it interesting also how much Laura has to look at her mother to have her tell the story? Clearly, Jan Black, Elizabeth Naylor-Owens, knows most of the details, if not all of the intimate details.
Guy has made like 40.
It's made 50. It's 50. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's just
It's insane.
So somebody at the FBI actually saw your
Yeah,
complaint
okay.
today.
Right.
And
Okay.
saw that where it's like these videos making you
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
suicidal, and they're like,
Right.
they were like, oh, we better call Scottsdale and make
Right.
sure you're not actually gonna hurt yourself.
Right. No.
And you're not.
No. I'm not.
You don't need any assistance
No,
from
no, no,
us or
no.
okay.
No. I'm good.
no, yeah.
I appreciate it.
Unless you could get the guy to stop, but I mean it's been.
Unless you can force the guy to lose his First Amendment privilege, and again, if we're speaking of Dave Neal or anybody else, that's what they're asking for. And that's, of course, what they wanted, because that's the only way they can keep perpetuating this scam. And while Laura may be the one being indicted for 7 felonies, I'm of the belief that Mother Owens has certain cause to be indicted as well. If she's this involved in these actions by her daughter, she's an accessory. She's an accessory by definition.
It's been horrific, absolutely.
Well, it sounds like somebody at the FBI got your complaint, so hopefully.
Hopefully they do
something
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping.
And Mom, you're aware of everything going on, right?
Oh,
so you're here.
I'm more than
Okay.
I'm more
Okay.
than
Yeah,
aware
yeah.
of everything.
Mom is more than aware of everything going on. That should set off alarm bells and flashing red lights to everyone. Mother is involved here. Mother is an accessory. Allegedly, my belief. And I also believe Mother is complicit. There have been some other people who opine some of the fake profiles that appeared as part of the collateral conversation trying to silence people was actually Jan Black, Mother Owens. That may be true. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of Laura's devices that were confiscated by the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, if they didn't find evidence of that. And it would also make me wonder that if Judge Mata had also... let's back up a little bit. If Jan Black, Elizabeth Naylor-Owens, see, I don't even know what to call her because she uses a pseudonym for her professional work, which I find slightly curious already. Sort of like when Laura tried to change her name to Emily Laura Watson or something like that. I'm trying to remember. It's floating back in the back recess somewhere. Had Mother Owens testified, would that have opened the door to her being prosecuted as well? One wonders. It may be very fortunate for her, at this juncture at least, that she did not testify in her daughter's trial in front of Judge Julie Mata. Otherwise, she may also be seeing felony charges. And if what is being said here is true, that Mother Owens helped Laura with her FBI report and is also very much aware of all of these goings on. Is she not complicit? Could there be more family members? Could Sister Sarah also be complicit in these enabling behaviors? Where does this end with family Owens? Is this just a pile of crimes? Is this nothing more than a meddlesome family engaging in criminal activity? These are the questions. Now, see, I'm not making an allegation by that because I don't have all of the facts. We know that Laura's indicted. And as of this body cam footage, which is almost a couple years old by now, that Mother Owens is certainly involved and certainly aware of what's going on. Who else in the family is involved in this? Who else is involved in this enabling behavior of Laura? And who else is complicit in engaging in possibly criminal activity? These are questions. These are extra questions, I think, that Laura Mitchell, hopefully, in this criminal felony trial of Laura Michelle Owens, that maybe more of these things will come to light, how far this really went with Owens family members. We do wonder.
What's going on? No, it's been.
Well,
this has been
and if
3 months.
and if you
worth
do
of stuff.
start
Yeah, yeah.
feeling like,
Yeah.
you can always call us because we can get you help too.
Okay, no, I
Alright,
really
I mean-
appreciate that. I mean, what would be great is just for this guy to stop. It's just very scary.
But it's just that he's just really tried to incite online hatred of her, and he.
Online hatred of her. I'm such a martyr. I'm Laura Michelle Owens. I'm being crucified by Dave Neal and other online people for being a lying bitch. Oh, no, I don't want anyone to find out that I'm lying. I don't want anyone to find out I've made up this whole fraud. That's what this is about. See, hindsight, now that she's being charged for felonies, is quite insightful. This kind of hindsight is very insightful. And I wonder if we could see more charges being leveled against more than just Laura. I sort of hope so. Because if Jan Black Elizabeth Naylor-Owens has engaged in criminal conduct like her daughter, she should also be tried. She should also be indicted. Well, let's get things in the right order. She should be indicted and then she should be tried. And if it's criminal activity, she should face the consequences of encouraging her daughter to engage in this behavior as well. That's what being an accessory means. So I hope more things are investigated. If there's other evidence that Mother Owens has been involved in these schemes and in these machinations of her daughter, they should come to light. And then she should be investigated.
She has protective orders against 2 prior boyfriends.
And we know that these orders of protection were fraudulently obtained from the court by Laura offering falsified evidence. She essentially perjured herself by offering fraudulent documents and information to the court for which she obtained these orders of protection. And to claim anything else is certainly disingenuous. Now, Mother Owens tries to use this in defense of her daughter, but I think this is also to help cover all of their tracks. If she's involved with her daughter, this is certainly evidence of it.
And one of them is a real stalker kind of a nut, and has done he swore that he was going to ruin her life. And he was able to hack into her computer. He had her passwords. He had all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
We've heard this story before. Greg Gillespie hacked my email and hacked everything. Everything was hacked. I think the Maricopa County Attorney's Office found more than just hacking. And it wasn't hacking by Greg Gillespie, by Mike Marchini, or any other man. It was the hack job of being a fraud, perpetuated and committed by one indicted felon, Laura Michelle Owens.
it's just, he then contacted this YouTube guy, and he's just tried to do, just to ruin her, to come up with all these fake.
Look at how much Laura relies on her mother to tell this story. It almost makes me wonder who concocted this story. Was it the award-winning journalist just manufacturing this for her daughter? To save face? To protect the family, perhaps? There's a lot of the storytelling happening by someone who the story technically isn't about. It's curious, isn't it?
Stories, this craziness, and posted online about her. And so she was finally thinking, like, if a cease and desist didn't work, and she's tried to get a temporary restraining order against this guy.
Lives in
He lives in
California.
LA.
The First Amendment.
Yeah, and that's what makes it tough is, different state.
Different states, exactly.
Right,
And that's why I figured.
Oh no, that First Amendment got in my way of silencing all these men who are going to reveal my scam. There's all these men who are going to expose my fraud pregnancy scam. Oh no, it's a First Amendment issue. Oh, I'm trying to silence them any way I can, and the First Amendment's just such a problem. Imagine that. Imagine that. And that's why we are also here, among the many other much stronger and louder voices. But I don't mind being a choir member. Every choir has its section leaders. They're great people. They do great work. I don't mind being an accompanimental voice in that chorus of justice. This is a chorus of justice. May we sing it loud and strongly.
I had to contact.
And he's claiming he's got a right to post stuff, but...
Yes, he does. The First Amendment allows people to post all kinds of things. Now, the smart ones do so factually, and do so with receipts and with evidence. The stupid ones just go blathering on, sort of like the anti-what-the-hales media ecosystem. All of those crazy people are going to, they're going to meet their match with all the lawsuits Jeremy Hales has. You may have noticed, those of you who follow people like that Umbrella Guy Tug and Megan, that they are starting to weave in the Laura Owens story, along with their What the Hales coverage. I noticed that just the other day, that they were trying to bring two audiences together. The similarities of cases aren't too different in terms of behavior of litigants and that of insane counsel. And I know, I'd rather not mention his name, but Dingus the Douche Canoe is the crazy counsel. Yes, he
The
is.
fucking douche canoe.
But his days are numbered. His days for which he had a contract to make as big of a mess of this as he could. I think that's really what the purpose of his hiring was. Well, represent her in trial, but make these mean people stop saying things about my daughter. I think that was the reason for his hiring. That's why Mom and Dad and Laura all had dinner together. So we could get all chummy about trying to protect the family image, the Owens brand, the Ron Owens legacy, the Jan Black Elizabeth Naylor-Owens Journalism Award legacy, and try and make this go away and protect our daughter. We believe she was pregnant. She was pregnant by several other men. We don't know how, but we know that. These are not well people. These are not well people. I believe Jan Black has some issues. She obviously does, sort of the way she moves. She's got some physical issues. That's just obvious to me, watching video footage. And listening to her process and tell this story makes me think that Mother Owens has some mental issues as well. Again, I'm not a professional psychological person of any kind. This is just my opinion based on what I see. And it's based on my opinion based on what I hear and the stories that are being told and how we're doing everything we can to cover and save face for the youngest daughter. That's an indicator to me that there's some unhealthy, very unhealthy behaviors going on within this family system.
He doesn't have a right to post lies. But anyway, but so Laura was saying, well, maybe...
And no one has posted lies. Everything has been found in a court of law to have pointed and conclusively proved that Laura Owens is in fact the liar, the daughter of famed journalist Jan Black and radio star Ron Owens. She's the one facing 7 felony indictments for fraud, for perjury, and for tampering with evidence. So I think it's quite clear who the liars are here. And it's not the people wanting justice for Clayton, Mike, and Greg and other men. It's the family who's hiding their machinations and their meddling, and they're engaging in seemingly felonious conduct.
You know, he has violated these cyber stalking and cyber crime stuff. This guy posted a map of...
To my house. I have another house, so he posted a map.
Yeah, we have
it's
an
like
Airbnb. He posted a thing showing how to get to our
Yeah.
house.
The Airbnb is public information. You may not like it because then you can't hide behind some sort of wall of celebrity anonymity. But anyone can find it. Anyone can find those public records. They are public records. If you don't like it, don't engage in public business. Keep your stuff unlisted. Don't have a public business. And don't try and make money off of property that you had your daughter engage Clayton Echard to find for you. That's how you prevent that from happening. You don't get to be both a celebrity and hide in the corner and say, I'm a private person. You can't come after me. You can't even look into what we do. That just screams of shady behavior, if not sleazy behavior. And I believe there's a little bit of both going on here. I don't believe this family as a family system and a family culture does everything honestly and above board. That's certainly indicated by the behavior of their youngest daughter engaging in multitudes of pregnancy scams with several other men. Now, multitudes is certainly more than 4. It would seem, based on my math, there could be 6 occurrences that have occurred that we know of. Now, not all of these are as publicly documented in court filings, but we do know factually this is a pattern of behavior for Laura Michelle Owens. And we certainly know that at least one member of the family seems to be in on it, in my view.
With pictures of the house. I mean, he had that on his computer up in the background when he was posting one of these the other day.
Yeah.
So Laura was thinking, maybe if we contacted a cyber stalking unit, that maybe that.
Yeah, I mean, people have said, like, they hope I'm an organ donor because then something good would come from my pathetic existence. And, like, I'm a waste of skin. Like, they've been...
mean.
They're very mean, so...
Now, if that happened, and I didn't see it, so I'm not sure that this is true at all. And since she's being charged for being a serial liar on felony counts, I'm not sure I believe this, but if it did happen, that would be inexcusable. There are certain lines one shouldn't cross. We can call them names for their behavior without a doubt, but we don't wish death on anyone. We don't wish death. We don't wish ill-gotten things that go into those inappropriate lines of conduct. What we do want to do is call out the obvious problems of their behavior. We can call out the things that we see, and we can opine on them. We can make some speculations as we so see fit based on their patterns of behavior and based on the context and the information that we have. This case has gone on for nearly 2 years now. We have lots of information, and we have lots of information suggesting that there's a lot going on here, not all of which has reached the light of day. And I suspect, as this case goes on and into criminal territory, that we may see other things that might surprise us, or perhaps it won't. I don't think anything regarding the criminal behavior of at least Laura, if not maybe other members of the family. And I do caveat that by saying maybe. Because without an indictment, it's just Laura standing alone. And then the other people around her are just enablers. But there comes a point, I think, where enabling turns into being an accessory, being an accomplice. What that threshold is, I'm not sure. A legal mind can chime in and let us know, but I would be curious to know at what point does a parent's involvement in the criminal life of their child end up causing problems for them as the parent on a criminal basis? These are questions I have. I don't have answers specifically, but I have suspicions. I have suspicions, and I hope that if they are true, that we will see more charges for other family members as the prosecuting authorities so see fit to engage in.
I'm just hoping to stop this guy and,
Yeah, we just, because it's like, where do we even turn if they won't respect the court system and
Cease and desists are not the court system. Making legal threats that have no basis in fact or law are also not respecting the court system. So clearly Mother Owens seems to think that the court works for her and that the court should do their bidding because they say so. Again, as we've said before, the level of entitlement exhibited by this family is absolutely insane. They seem to think that any behavior they don't like can be leveraged with the courts to do their bidding. That's disturbing. That's disturbing, and there should be a stop put to this kind of behavior because the courts don't work for the Owens family. That's what mafia families do. That's what mob bosses do. That's not America. That certainly isn't the state of Arizona that I'm aware of. If any of this were to happen according to their whims, there would be enormous federal trials coming for anyone engaged in doing their bidding. So they better stop it. Laura better stop it. Her mother better stop it, because this could get them all into serious trouble, criminally. That's my opinion. That's my view. That's my suspicion. I think Jan Black, Elizabeth Naylor-Owens, is in a little bit over her head, but she certainly seems to think that she's got all the aces in the back pocket by just waving things around. Well, the court system. Well, my daughter in the FBI. She's playing a dangerous game. That game came back and bit her daughter in the ass, criminally, with felonies. If Mother Owens, who I believe may be the caretaker of her husband, doesn't want to get herself into trouble, she needs to be far more salient about what she's doing, and certainly what she's saying, because she's alleging lots of things here. And as we have learned, none of those things turned out to be true. All those allegations against Dave, all the things against Greg and Mike, they were all fallacious comments by the Owens family. And no amount of damage control with Dingus the douche canoe
The fucking douche canoe.
is going to fix what they're doing inappropriately and possibly criminally. Again, it's my belief that that's what David was hired for, was just to create a big smoking mess. David, you're my only hope. Save our daughter. And I almost wonder if it wasn't so much Laura that went after David to be the legal representation, if maybe it was Mother Owens. I don't know. That's a hypothesis. These two are in cahoots, in my opinion. And they are in cahoots far more than we might otherwise believe.
And, you know, they've just tried to do everything to hurt us. To hurt, you know, the family, too. I mean... Aha.
There it is. I rest my case, Your Honor. Jan Black, Elizabeth Naylor-Owens is complicit. Everything they can do for the family. See, it wasn't just her daughter. It was about the family. This has become not just about Laura, but this has become a larger personal family issue. Aha. The game's afoot, Watson. Rachel Mitchell, are you going after Mama Owens? That's my next question in the next press conference. What charges will we see leveled against Jan Black? I mean Elizabeth Naylor, because I think that's her legal name. Why do we use Jan Black? That's not her real name. I don't care if she used that on a microphone or not. Okay, don't ask questions that really don't have any answers. What was she trying to avoid by not using her real name on the air? One wonders. That should be a tagline for me. One wonders. That could be on a t-shirt.
It's just been an absolute nightmare.
No, as long as you're okay.
Yeah,
That's
thank
why
you
we're
so
here
much.
to make
Really,
sure.
really appreciate that.
Okay.
No problem. Good luck with everything.
Yeah,
Like I said, somebody at the FBI read your
I
thing.
really
So.
hope, hey, maybe don't go to this guy's house then.
Well, yeah, because you had the other thing with the FBI was investigating, so.
Right, another
so
incident
they-
of stalker.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that things get, taken care of. I appreciate that.
Good
Thank
luck.
you much. Stay safe, guys.
To what level will this family go to save their asses and collectively while trying to save their daughter? It's disturbing. It's disturbing. I wonder if this is where she gives them a little sugar bribe. Let's finish this off.
Oh, hey, hang on a second.
Oh, hey. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Here. Officers, take some
Thank you.
boxes of
Appreciate that.
candy.
Thank you. We appreciate you guys.
Would you like some candy? I got this special just for you, officer. I hope you think kindly of my family. Don't say anything bad about my daughter, Laura, or we'll sue you too. I think it was a bribe. I mean, that's a small bribe. It's only candy. But it's an attempt, in my view, to influence them. To just go out of the way to be sort of paranoid at first. But after all the conversation, let's ingratiate ourselves with our faux generosity by giving them a couple boxes of candy. That's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. And it makes me believe and I'm entitled to my beliefs as I'm entitled to my opinions under the First Amendment, it's my belief that this family collectively, and most certainly through the lightning rod of their daughter, Laura Michelle Owens, is engaging in inappropriate conduct and is involved, either intrinsically or extrinsically, with the felonious schemes and frauds of their daughter. Again, I only have limited information at this time, but based upon the comments by Mother Owens regarding how much she is involved in writing things for her daughter for FBI reports, and how she's very well aware of the story and all the things going on, I think she's involved. And again, that's my opinion, and I'm entitled the fuck to it. Now, time will tell as this criminal trial of Laura Michelle Owens unfolds, to what level that may be. We may receive evidence of multiple family members being involved in these schemes. I wouldn't be surprised. And if that evidence doesn't show up, well, then whatever. Then it's just the daughter and she'll hang out to dry, and the family will have to count their blessings that they aren't up there facing trial themselves. Family systems. Family systems can do a lot of good things, or in the case of the Owens family, it can do a lot of bad things. What we see here are examples of bad family systems, of parents enabling their feloniously geared children. It's disturbing, and it makes one ponder how the other sister, Sarah, who got lucky and got away from Arizona and the rest of the family craziness, how she dodged some of this. Supposedly, Laura talks to her sister 2 hours every day, according to Jan in this video. Or was it another video? There's another video where she says that, it might be the other police video, where she says that Laura talks to her sister 2 hours every day, or something to that effect. Obviously, this must have come up. And clearly, since we believe that some of the sonography was that of her sister, that there's sharing of information back and forth. And I have no doubt that when the Maricopa County Attorney's Office went through all of Laura's electronic devices, that every last little bit, every last dirty deed, which wasn't spoliated, because I believe Laura spoliated evidence, just as I know that Jen Camp in the John DeLynn case said. I've also referenced earlier on where Jen Camp was spoliating, was deleting evidence that was incriminating. I wouldn't be surprised if the same things were going on in the Owens household. The deletion of evidence. A grand jury sought to indict Laura Owens on 7 felony charges. They wouldn't do that on a whim and a lark, by no stretch of the imagination. So there we are. As we continue on this journey in the criminal trial of Laura Michelle Owens, we'll keep reviewing the past evidence. We'll review the last court cases. We'll review all of the stuff leading up to the last court case as we wait for more things to come down from on high and from down below, wherever below might be. On high would definitely be the Arizona court system. The day is quickly coming where the deadline for Dingus the Douche Canoe filing for Supreme Court review, the Supreme Court of Arizona review of the appellate court, that's due very soon, May 15, if I'm not mistaken. And I am sure any day now, any day soon, we will hear of a filing from Dingus the Douche Canoe.
The fucking douche canoe.
And his filing of an appeal towards the Arizona Supreme Court regarding the appellate court. We know that's coming, and it will be coming very soon. Until then, we shall just continue to look at all the indicting things, the self-indictments, all of the very public record of Laura Michelle Owens and any other family members that happen to be going along for this ride.
What?
That's right. We will look into everything that's publicly available. Things that have already been said, and maybe even new takes on some of those things. We shall see, but until then, watch yourselves, because you never know where another Femme Fetal may come after you too. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Vet your people. Vet the ones you love. If you do indeed love them. Vet them before you go and do anything adult. Make sure you are consenting, make sure they're consenting, and make sure you know they're not absolutely crazy and land you in situations like this. So until our next time, we'll return. We'll return when there's some more to talk about, whether that be old stuff or whether that be new stuff. But there will be new stuff, just as there was today with an announcement that Laura may have ordered HCG from a fertility clinic, an injectable. And that may be the cause of her pregnancy, her positive pregnancy tests. If you call HCG tests pregnancy tests. Well, that's splitting hairs at this point because it's already been discussed in the trial setting. Oh, but that'll all come up all over again. We just can't escape the facts because they're so just outrageous. But until that time comes, have an enjoyable weekend. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. And happy week ahead. And when more news strikes, we'll cover it as we can. Until then,